Okay, hi Axel, hi David. Welcome to our third episode of Ask Sata podcast. The topic today is how do we guarantee lead quality and think about that in relation to lead generation success. So Axel, you're our data guide. How about you start? You can tell us about lead quality.
I'll start from the step one, which we have already discussed in the episode two, which is about defining your ideal customer profile. Once you have your ideal customer profile, from there you can begin your data research and building your lead pool. And in order to have a very accurate or most closest to your ideal prospect lead pool, I think the best practice would be to use different platform of data sourcing. One could be LinkedIn, but you can go for any paid database like ZoomInfo or Apollo. But if you're stuck to one data platform to sourcing data across different campaigns, it might not be that effective, because when you have different data sources and you are doing custom data research, you can use different keywords, you can go for a very specific designations, and you can get the most accurate data, which is obviously going to give you better engagement rate. And overall, you can see the people that I'm reaching out to are qualified or not. So it basically helps you with that. Apart from data sources, the other thing that you can do, which a lot of data platforms are giving us now, is use of intent data. So basically, intent data can help you to have a very accurate and qualified leads from the step one. But the challenge is most of the platforms which are providing intent data is they are providing at a very high cost. For example, Clay, everybody is talking about nowadays. It gives you a lot of different intent filters or signals that you can use to leverage data, but it comes at a cost. And same is with Zoom Info. But if you want to do it on a slightly cost effective way, the best thing would be that you can go for behavioral signals, such as if a company is hiring or a company has raised funds recently or they have X number of website traffic. It can also give you a very accurate data. And then the last thing that I would say that Sader, we do that with almost all of our clients, is that we build industry specific campaigns. For example, if you are a manufacturing company and you can help hospitals and real estate and hospitality sector, instead of having just one kind of general campaign across three industries, what you can do is you can have three different campaigns, three different data sets across industries, and use very specific messaging for all three of them with your use cases and all. And you can just, once you have the specific data, you can have specific messaging, and from that you can go towards the campaign. And once you start to see some engagement, then you would know how you are qualifying the data and how qualified they are.
So I hear you saying a lot about custom data research and creating a diversity of ways that you research the leads. You talk about intent data. Can you clarify what you mean by intent data exactly?
So intent data it's a feature basically which a lot of different data platforms are offering now. For example, Crunchbase, Apollo, ZoomInfo, Clay, they all are giving you this feature. Once you build a list of certain prospects, they also give you a next feature to it, which is like, which they have named it as intent data. The intent data is based on the research of the prospects. They kind of gather their intentions, and they package it as intent data. So, for example, if generic research has 1,000 people in it, intent data could be that they are hiring, or they are looking for digital marketing agencies, or they are looking for manufacturing vendors. Everybody is doing research or search on Google nowadays. So these tools that I've just named, Crunchbase and Clickly and etc., they gather your research basically, and they are going to give you a filter that, okay, Jen is looking for digital marketing agency, so she has the intention to go for it, and they are just going to store this information with them. So once I go about that filter, that okay, Clay, just give me the intent data of people who are looking for digital marketing agencies nowadays. They are going to give me your information. So I can use that and assume that you are a slightly warmer lead and you are more qualified, and I can reach out to you right away. And probably I'll be able to have a very, very good conversation, and I can close you really soon. But it comes at a cost. The intent data is not that cost effective because it's a pool of warmer leads. tools are charging you for it. And the alternative, which I've already told, is instead of just going for the intent data, you can also go for their internet behavior or behavior signals, like if a company is hiring or they have recently raised funds or they have any. Even with LinkedIn, you have the filter of built with technology. The website is built on X technology or Y technology. It might be a good fit for my SEO service, so I can just go about them. It won't be a very warm lead, but it's a lot better than the cold one. And again, that way you might be able to have a very qualified pool of leads.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. So often clients that we talk to or prospects that we talk to have been buying databases and using lists and things. And it sounds like what you're saying is creating quality data takes time and effort, and it's actually to get really quality data, there's kind of a premium charge to that, especially with tools that offer intent data and things. But taking your time to, even from a data research perspective, to find the right data is really worthwhile as a foundation for
Obviously, because
lead
these are the
generation.
people you are going to talk to at the end of the day. So this is the basic first step of your funnel. You need to invest a lot of time in the data. The thing you mentioned, that there are a lot of paid databases which give you tons of data, and generally people go for it. I won't recommend it because I don't want to name any tool, but if it's really cost effective and they have tons of data that you can just download in one click and just run the campaign. Say it as million other people have the access to the same data set and same tool, and with that pool of leads, 3,000 people are going to get emails every week from your competitors, from you, outbound agencies, and everybody would be emailing to those 3,000 people, and they would be fed up by now. And it happens a lot. Because of that, they are going to report you back as spam, and you won't get very good results. So if you invest a lot of time in custom data research, your campaign success chances of your campaign success would be a lot higher, and research would be a lot more accurate. So it's definitely a worthwhile.
Okay, thank you. So another challenge we face when we often start to work with new prospects and new clients is they want to work with us based on guaranteed results. We only want to pay for qualified leads, or they're happy to pay a flat fee, but they are very inexperienced with handling a range of leads from warm to cold, interested, not interested, qualified, unqualified. So David, maybe can you talk to that point about expectations or process around taking an interested lead and creating a quality lead that is going to then close into long-term business?
It's an interesting one, Jen, and obviously Assel's brought up a lot of good points on the data side. What I would say to start with, first of all, there are two different types of leads that we can be talking about here. There's what we call a marketing qualified lead, okay, and then there's a sales qualified lead, and those two things are quite different. A marketing qualified lead is basically, based on our interactions and understanding in terms of who's the ideal profile, who do we want to reach, and the messaging, that generates an appointment or an opportunity for an appointment where the client would take over and their sales process would take over, i.e. someone from their organization needs to call that client, qualifying it from a sales perspective. And that's kind of where there's a key difference. A sales qualified lead is not only have we done the marketing piece, i.e. we've reached out based on the profile that we're looking for, they've expressed an interest, then somebody actually calls them. So whether that's us, but then they actually qualify that lead even further. So actually what's going into the pipeline is what we call a sales qualified. So there are differences. In other words, if they want a marketing sales leads, which is where most people go, then there's a lot more emphasis on the client, therefore, to start to qualify that, and they need a process in terms of them managing that. As we know, everyone that you talk to or as potential lead is not going to buy straight away. All right, the timing may not be right, but they may be interested in having conversations, which is where the process is really important, is that you track where are those people, what are they interested in, what's their buying cycle or time scales look like. So there's quite a lot of stuff there that needs to be done. What's important here that the client understands that they have a process to follow that. Hopefully they have the right skills, within their sales professionals that are monitoring and doing that. Back to the point that was raised earlier, I think it's really important that, clients, when we're discussing things or just in general, is okay, we know who we want to target, but what's also important is who do they not want to target. I think Assel was talking about that earlier around, if you've got 3 different verticals you're going for, you can't have one message that goes to all 3. It needs to be more tailored. But even within that vertical, there may be some organizations where you go, well, no, we just don't want to deal with them because they're the wrong size, the wrong fit, are they too close in terms of being competitive, whatever it is. There's actually quite a lot of work that needs to be done there. And I suppose a sign of success or maturity comes when, not only do you know what you want to say yes to, but what do you want to learn to say no to? In other words, what's not good business for you? And that will help all around this lead quality side.
Yeah, it's really good advice. I like to think of it like kind of a root system or maybe a tree system with branches. Like leads can come in from everywhere and then they kind of filter down, to the kind of the core of it. And I think it's very simplistic to say, I only want fully qualified leads and I'll only pay for fully qualified leads, because it's not appreciating this really intricate system of how to reach your ideal client, get the quality lead, and then ready to buy now, ready to pay you. And I would just also add a warning that if you are dealing with lead generation agencies that agree to be paid only for a qualified lead, they're usually not that credible, because unless they're experts in your specific industry and niche, which is not that common for lead generators to be like super niche qualified, they're more likely to just go with this massive spam approach in order to achieve a huge volume in order to get you some qualified leads. Whereas people who know their craft and are willing to work with you as collaborators to research leads, outreach to leads, test messages, take replies, help you qualify them, get them into your pipeline, those people will be scientists of their craft and more like a part of your team and a collaborator, and then worthy of being paid in exchange for that iteration and testing process that should actually be part of the broader sales development process that you have in place inside of your company. So I think that's just a word of warning if you're looking to pay only for qualified leads, that you're likely to actually attract the wrong kind of collaborator if that's the case.
I think it drives the wrong sort of behavior potentially, doesn't it? Or you're exposed to the wrong sort of behavior potentially. Like you say, it's about, because there's a danger that people look at, quantity rather than quality.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you both for your time today. It was great. See you in the next episode.
Thank you.